The Valari broadcast played on every frequency in the known galaxy, a smug, venomous voice layered with the static of untold distances. Its owner, Archlord Zytrax, reclined in his obsidian throne as he spoke, tendrils twitching around a mouth lined with jagged teeth. Citizens of the Empire, rejoice. Today, the human infestation has been cleansed from the central colonies. 5 billion of the vermin exterminated, their nests incinerated, their lineage erased. Consider this a lesson to all primitive species. Compliance ensures survival. Defiance ensures oblivion. His words ooze over the speakers, laced with arrogance and the certainty of an unchallenged ruler. On a forgotten rock of an asteroid base orbiting a dying star, 5 women sat in a dimly lit common room. Empty beer cans littered the table, along with a deck of worn playing cards and the faint glow of an old screen looping Predator for the 100th time. 5 billion. Riley Rip, Hunter muttered, the cigarette in her mouth smoldering low as she crushed her beer can with one gloved hand. Hell, that's almost as many people as watched Seinfeld's finale. They nuked my grandma's moon farm. Lex Boomer, Kane said, strumming her fingers across a sniper rifle that was humming the opening bars of Living on a Prayer. She wasn't even sarcastic like the rest of us. That's a war crime. I'd say rest in peace, but she probably came back as a ghost just to throw her shoe at them, Sonia Pixel vague equipped, flicking through streams of data on her tablet as she hacked into half the Empire's local feeds. Ladies, Rip said, standing and exhaling a long plume of smoke, I believe this officially qualifies as a vendetta. Vendetta? Maggie Doc. Tran raised a brow, her voice as sharp as the bone saw strapped across her chest. I'd call it occupational therapy. Charlie Tombstone Greer didn't speak. She was busy engraving a name, Chandler Bing, on the next bullet she'd load into her sniper rifle. The room went quiet as Zytrax's transmission ended with a chilling final remark. Humans were statistically insignificant. Rip barked a laugh that had more edge than mirth. Statistically insignificant? That's cute. I say we send him a reminder. Humans may be extinct, but angry women with rifles? We're a whole different math problem. The alert klaxon blared, jolting them out of their thoughts. Unscheduled distress signal, Pixel reported, her fingers flying over the screen. Empire warship. Damaged engines, stranded 2 sectors over. VIP on board. Rip's eyes narrowed and a slow smile curled her lips. VIP, huh? Sounds like someone who's overdue for a come-to-Jesus meeting. Boomer cracked her knuckles. Are we talking stealth infiltration, or blow it up for morbid levels of therapy? Rip shouldered her rifle, the barrel long and gleaming despite a dozen patch cracks in alloy. Why not both, she said. Ladies, pack your bags. We're going Empire hunting. They moved in practiced unison, their banter a sharp counterpoint to the lethal precision of their preparations. Boomer hummed along to You Give Love a Bad Name as she filled her bag with explosives. Pixel rewired their comms to intercept Imperial chatter while quoting the Matrix under her breath. Doc prepped her tranquilizer rounds, loading each one with a sarcastic mutter. Honestly, she said, they're lucky we're just pissed off. If we were hormonal too, this would already be over. Tombstone remained silent, pulling on her helmet and checking her rifle sight with the intensity of a predator zeroing in. She whispered to the engraved bullet, You'll do. Within 20 minutes, Team VNOM was in their dropship, hurtling silently toward the Imperial cruiser. The hull groaned, old metal protesting, as Rip guided them through asteroid debris. Pixel, Rip said, lighting another cigarette even as the ship rattled from near-miss rocks. How's their system security looking? Like a cheese grater on fire, Pixel replied with a grin. Seriously, I could hack these guys with a flip phone from 1998. Good. Keep us quiet till we dock. The element of surprise is our 6th teammate. Wait, who's the 5th? Boomer asked. Your sense of humor. Boomer raised her middle finger and kept humming Bon Jovi. As they approached the Valari cruiser, Rip's expression hardened. The human colonies hadn't stood a chance against the Empire's superior tech, their endless fleets, their clinical ruthlessness. But humans weren't just survivors. They were stubborn, irrational, and unpredictable. The Empire's worst mistake wasn't killing 5 billion. It was leaving 5 women alive. Rip inhaled one last time, then crushed her cigarette underfoot. Ladies, let's make the Empire regret not finishing the job. The drop ship docked silently with the cruiser's underbelly. Rip slung her rifle across her back and turned to her team. Remember, they're faster, stronger, and uglier. But we've got the one thing they'll never understand. Boomer grinned. Good aim. No. Vengeance, Bon Jovi, and PMS. The hatch hissed open, and darkness swallowed them as they slipped aboard. The Empire didn't know it yet, but their galaxy was about to get statistically interesting. The Valari cruiser loomed above them, a hulking behemoth of polished alloy and humming energy cores. Its belly lights flickered faintly in the void, signaling crippled engines. Inside, alien officers scrambled like ants in a flooded nest, tried to repair systems they never imagined would fail. Team VNOM clung to the outside hull like shadows, mag boots hissing softly as they crept toward an auxiliary hatch. Pixel, how's their security grid? Rip whispered, her breath fogging slightly in the cold of space. Pathetic, Pixel murmured back, her fingers flying across her wrist pad. Like leaving your house key under the doormat and putting up a sign that says, "No burglars, please." Good. Let's knock then. Boomer grinned, unspooling a small device from her pack. Permission to make an entrance, explosive and highly satisfying. Rip arched an eyebrow. Nothing too flashy. I want these bastards to wonder if death's creeping up on them, not send out fireworks invites. Boomer pouted dramatically. You're no fun. The hatch gave way with a satisfying hiss, and the team slipped inside, weapons raised. The interior was sleek and sterile, the corridor bathed in dim blue light. Valari soldiers stalked the halls in pairs, their armor glossy and insectal, weapons humming with lethal intent. Doc, 2 at 12 o'clock, Rip murmured. Got M. Doc raised her tranquilizer rifle, firing 2 darts with silent precision. Both soldiers stumbled mid-step, their armor clattering to the floor. 1 shot, 2 nap times, Doc said. I should start charging by the dose. Boomer crept ahead, planting a sensor jammer on the wall. We're invisible to their cams now. These guys wouldn't survive a Friday night in Queens. Pixel snorted. Or a dial-up modem in 1997. They advanced deeper into the ship, their movement precise, efficient, and accompanied by a constant stream of quiet banter. Remind me why we're not just blowing this place sky high. Tombstone finally spoke, her voice low and gravelly. Because, Rip said, sliding her knife from its sheath and catching an alien officer by the throat as he rounded the corner, the Empire thinks humans are too primitive to plan vengeance. I want them scared first, then dead. The officer gurgled once and collapsed. Rip wiped her blade clean. Besides, if we do this right, every Valari admiral from here to the homeworld will be checking under their beds for angry Earth women. Not under the bed, Boomer said cheerfully. In the bed. You know, like Fatal Attraction. Pixel groaned. We are not boiling alien bunnies. They reached the central hub of the ship, where Archlord Zytrax's hologram flickered above a dais, barking orders at panicked subordinates. They're repairing comms, Pixel reported. If we let them, they'll call in reinforcements. Then let's crash the party, Rip said. Boomer grinned ferally and unhooked a pulse grenade. Time for my kind of therapy. Before Rip could protest, Boomer lobbed the grenade into the hub. Surprise, Slimy. The explosion wasn't large. It didn't need to be. Energy arced across the room, frying panels and sending Valari officers sprawling in a rain of sparks. The team surged forward, rifles raised. Tombstone shots cracked like thunder, each bullet finding its mark in a soldier's throat or visor. Doc darted between cover, firing a dart into the ship's medic, muttering, "Do no harm, my ass." Pixel plugged directly into the central console, fingers a blur. "I've hijacked their comms," she called. "Say the word, Rip." Rip strode into the center of the chaos, boots crunching on broken glass and alien blood. She activated her comm unit and spoke into the void. "To the glorious Valari Empire," she began, her voice calm and deadly. "Congratulations. You officially pissed off the wrong species. Across a dozen systems, Valari commanders stiffened as a human voice echoed through their war networks. This is Team Vietnam. Rip continued. You killed 5 billion of us, but you left 5 alive. Your math sucks. Pixel uploaded a virus into the system, looping Rip's message to every Valari fleet within range. Consider this fair warning. The hunt has begun. Sleep light. She cut the feed with a sharp flick of her wrist. Transmission sent, Pixel confirmed. And I sprinkled in a little gift. Every ship in this sector now broadcasts Danger Zone on repeat. Boomer clapped. Oh, hell yes. Kenny Loggins is humanity's greatest weapon. Time to go, Rip said. This party's over. The team moved fast, disabling critical systems as they retreated. Fires erupted behind them. Alarms screamed. Soldiers scrambled uselessly, caught between fear and protocol. As they reached their dropship, Rip glanced back at the burning cruiser. Think they got the message? Doc asked. They will, Rip said grimly. By the time we're done, every Valari bastard out there will be whispering our names like bedtime prayers. Or curses, Tombstone muttered, loading a fresh magazine. Rip smiled. Either way works for me. The drop ship detached from the cruiser, slipping back into the void. Behind them, the Empire's once pristine warship floated dead in space, silent but for the faint strains of Danger Zone echoing through its ruined comms. The Valari High Command sat in a war room shaped like an inverted spire, holograms flickering around them in frantic disarray. Across the table, admirals shouted over one another in their native, clicking language, their mandibles snapping with agitation. This is impossible, one of them hissed. 5 human females cannot destabilize an entire sector. Statistically irrelevant, barked another. Your obsession with math blinded us. These creatures are not following any predictable pattern. On the far end, Grand Strategist Clivec raised a trembling hand. They've hit 7 of our ships in 2 days. Supply routes are disrupted. Colonies are panicking. Even our own soldiers are reporting nightmares. They're human, primitive, emotional. The eldest admiral, Vecran, slammed a clawed fist on the table. Their entire species was built on infighting and chaos. Now, they're wielding it against us. On the fringes of Valari space, Team VNOM was already setting their sights on the next target. Did you know the Valari consider emotions a genetic disease? Doc said, wiping down her rifle as their ship drifted silently toward a munitions factory in low orbit. Explains why they're so ugly, Boomer said, chewing gum like a teenager waiting for the tension to end. They're not ugly. They're aesthetically challenged, Pixel added, her eyes glued to a cascading stream of alien code. Semantics, sweetheart, Rip said, resting her boots on the console. Ugly's ugly. And if they hate emotion, they're about to learn all about anger. Tombstone loaded another magazine. She didn't speak, but she traced a finger over the fresh etching on her bullets. Ross Geller. The drop ship latched onto the outer hull of the factory. Boomer, keep it clean this time, Rip said as they exited. Define clean, Boomer replied, setting 3 small charges around the hatch. The first charge was almost gentle, a low hum and a flash of light as the hatch dissolved. Inside, hundreds of Valari workers scrambled at the sight of the intruders. Pixel raised her rifle and shot the overhead lights. Darkness swallowed the room except for the women's glowing visors. Rip's voice echoed through the void. Hi, boys. Miss us? The sound of suppressed sniper fire followed. By the time they reached the control center, the factory was dead silent. Pixel hacked into the mainframe, her fingers moving faster than thought. Uploading a virus now, she reported. All factory blueprints, supply routes, and fleet movements are ours. Good girl, Rip said. Leave them something to remember us by. Boomer grinned and tossed a timered charge onto the central power core. Let's go before this place starts glowing. The factory's destruction sent ripples of panic through the Empire. As news spread, so did rumors. They're shadows. They kill without sound. They're not human, they're demons. The women listened in on intercepted Valari chatter, laughing as they patched their ship mid-flight. Demons, Doc said between bites of a protein bar. That's flattering. They're terrified of 5 women with rifles, Rip said. Imagine if they knew about the ones with PMS. Pixel snorted so hard she nearly dropped her tablet. But the jokes didn't last long. Pixel's screen blinked red as a transmission burst through their firewall. Emergency broadcast, she said. Valari Home Fleet is mobilizing. They're sending a Dreadnought-class ship to wipe out Earth's remains. Rip's cigarette smoldered as she leaned forward. So they're finally taking us seriously. They'll glass Earth, Tombstone murmured. Not if we glass them first, Rip said. Excuse me? Doc said sharply. Rip stood, slinging her rifle across her shoulder. This ends now. We take the fight to them. You mean the Dreadnought? Pixel asked. That's suicide. No, Rip said. That's justice. 5 billion dead, remember? This time we burned their house down. Silence fell over the team as the weight of her words settled. Then one by one they nodded. Fine, Boomer said with a grin, but I get to push the big red button. Only if you don't sing Bon Jovi while doing it, Doc replied. Boomer gasped. What are we even fighting for if not that? Pixel's fingers danced across her keyboard as she plotted a course to intercept the Valari Dreadnought. Strap in, she said. If we screw this up, we'll be the shortest-lived legends in history. Rip's eyes hardened. Or the most dangerous. The drop ship accelerated, its engines howling against the void as Team VNOM hurtled toward their final mission. In the Valari war room, admirals argued over strategy, unaware that their greatest threat was an army or fleet. It was 5 furious, foul-mouthed, emotionally unstable women with perfect aim and nothing left to lose. And they were coming. The Valari Dreadnought drifted like a floating city of death, its obsidian hull bristling with cannons large enough to split moons in half. From its bridge, Supreme Commander Therix surveyed the stars with cold precision. His claws tapped the railing as the ship's AI rattled off casualty reports from recent human raids. 5 women, he hissed. 5 human females, and they've undone decades of work. Are you certain they're not augmented? Negative, replied the AI. No cybernetics. No enhancements. Just statistically improbable. Therix's mandibles clicked furiously. Statistically improbable doesn't topple supply chains or assassinate admirals. Yet even as he seethed, a seed of unease wormed its way through his thoughts. Stories had spread like wildfire among the troops. Shadows moving between stars. Bullets from nowhere. Laughter over comms before an entire platoon went silent. He shook off the chill and barked. Prepare the glassing protocol. Earth will be our cleansing fire. But deep in the Dreadnought's shadow, a tiny speck of ship clung to its underbelly like a tick on a wolf. Inside, Team VNOM was already suiting up. Rip loaded the last round into her rifle with a satisfying click. Okay, ladies. No speeches. No tears. Just clean shots and dirty tricks. Boomer adjusted her vest, grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. So, can I make some explosions this time? Like big ones? Rip smirked. You've been waiting your whole life for this moment, haven't you? You know it. Pixel tapped furiously at her datapad. All right, their systems are locked tighter than a 90s AOL login. I'll need 5 minutes to crack their mainframe once we're in. 5 minutes. Doc muttered. We'll probably be dead in 4. That's the spirit. Tombstone said quietly, chambering a round engraved with Joey Tribbiani. Rip pulled on her helmet, sealing it with a hiss. All right, one last time, girls. Let's give them a reason to fear bedtime stories about humans. They breached the Dreadnought's vent systems like wraiths, slipping through narrow shafts and bypassing patrols with clockwork precision. The ship's innards thrummed with energy, an endless hum that seemed almost sentient. The first firefight erupted in the engine room. Contact! Rip shouted, ducking behind a console as Valari guards poured to the doorway. Tombstone fired first, her bullet punching through a soldier's helmet. Boomer rolled a grenade across the floor with a cheerful sing-song. Ring around the rosy, aliens full of posies. The explosion rocked the room, sending fire licking up the walls. Pixel crouched beside the engine's core, fingers flying as she hacked into the dreadnought systems. 3 minutes, she said. Keep them off me or this ship's going to glass Earth, and all we'll get is a participation trophy. Doc took a shot to her shoulder, but stayed standing. Rip, we got incoming from the upper catwalk. Rip glanced up, spotted the shimmering outline of an elite sniper unit, and fired. The alien fell, twisting in zero-G as Rip muttered, "Not today, Legolas." More soldiers flooded in. Boomer set off another charge, and the blast sucked a dozen Valari into space as the hull cracked open. 2 minutes, Pixel said, voice tight. Doc grunted as she stitched herself up mid-battle. You know, when I signed up to be a sniper, I didn't think I'd be doing this much cardio. Less talk and more shooting, Tombstone said as she calmly eliminated 2 more targets. Pixel's screen flashed green. Got it. I've locked down their weapons, engines, and comms. They're sitting ducks. Rip grinned. Boomer, say no more. She armed the final payload, a chain of explosives rigged to overload the dreadnought's power core. Big red button pressed. Boomer sang, "Good night, sweet princes." The ship groaned as energy surged and systems failed. Fires erupted across the decks. In the command bridge, Derricks watched in horror as his once invincible vessel crumbled from within. "Impossible," he rasped. "They're only human." Rip's voice came through the ship's intercom, calm and cold. "Correction. We're the last humans you should have pissed off." As the team sprinted back to their drop ship, the dreadnought shook violently. Explosions ripped through its spine, tearing through bulkheads like paper. They launched away moments before the colossal ship split apart in a silent, fiery bloom. Rip exhaled slowly, staring out the viewport at the wreckage. "That's for 5 billion souls," she whispered. Pixel leaned back, exhausted. "So did we just win?" "For now," Rip said. "But the galaxy's big. I bet there's another empire out. They're already planning our funeral." "Good," Tombstone said, checking her rifle. "I've still got bullets left." Boomer leaned her head back and grinned. "Hey, maybe next time we'll fight an empire that likes disco. At least then we get a good soundtrack." Doc chuckled. "Or one that's allergic to sarcasm. We wipe 'em out in a week." Rip smiled faintly as Earth came into view in the distance, a battered blue marble still alive despite the odds. "Ladies," she said, "statistically insignificant my ass." And as their ship streaked through the stars, the galaxy watched in fear, whispering a single name. VNOM.